today on the worst mechanic ever.
Alright guys, I'm gonna replace this sway bar link on this 04 Maxima. You know, I already got the car prepped out. Got some stands locked up. Like I said in the past, like, you know, like never use a jack to like hold your car up. So I do have stands. That jack is like a backup just in case. So I have a tire, one jack, which is, you know, it's kind of like semi locked up. I have that jack holding up the weight, and then I have the Ford jack, you know. And then I do have chucks at the back of the tire, so like safety is real important. So, you know, what we're taking out is the front driver's side sway bar link. I already got the other side done, and it's this guy here. You know, to check if these guys are good or not, you just like wiggle them. You know, if they wiggle, they're bad. So let's get that guy out of there. Now, I got some notes just to, you know, to get this thing out. Let's see. I'll be honest, it's not that hard. The back one is actually the tougher one. You guys have to remember, you know, when we're moving out sway bar links, that as you're spinning the outside nut, this guy, the inside is going to be rotating, so you're going to use a 19 wrench at the back to hold it in place. So some of these guys have Allen key slots at the front. This one doesn't. I actually prefer, you know, the wrench at the back. This nut up here is a 17-inch, so you're going to need a 17-inch, a socket and some extensions. So here's what I'm using. You know, 19-inch, 19mm wrench, 17. A torque wrench for later on for torquing down to, I think it's 60. It's like 75 or something like that. I'm torquing to 65 today. 65, 70. Crowbar. You know, is a hex type 17. What do I have here? So I guess all you need is a 17 socket. 19 is actually for the tires. I'm gonna have a hammer or a mallet, whatever. A breaker bar always helps. Makes your job a lot easier. And WD-40 always helps as well. So that's pretty much it. All right, something else. If you have like a wrench hitting, you know, socket wrench, which I do not, it's gonna make your life a lot easier for that back one, because the back one is real tough to get to. I have, you know, this guy here. You know, he worked on this side, but if you have like one of those, I guess they call them like the ratcheting type, or I don't know, like the, you know, where the head flexes, it makes your life a lot easier. So if you don't have one, and you know you're thinking of picking one up, it's probably a good time to do that. So I'm using this to kind of like flex down there, and I did get it off on the other side. Let's see what happens on this side. All right, so I'll start off by taking the top one off. Went here again, you know, 17 to the front, a 19-inch wrench to the back. The back one's gonna be tougher. I like taking the top one off first because it allows you to jack up the bottom a little bit. You know, and it kind of helps because that's really like a tight spot back there. So, all right, guys. So this is where I'm at right now. This, you know, the side has been pretty tough, but I'm getting there. So again, the top one was already broken free. It was actually real simple. About some of the sunlight. The bottom one is tough. You know, I have a socket, right? So this is the part. This is the inside. Here's the bolt. I have a socket right here. I have a whole bunch of WD-40 right here. I have that, you know, wrenching type extension right there, and then I have an extension. I think he's about just for reference, I don't know, like 7 or 8 inches, 8-inch extension. And then I have the wrench down here. So, you know, I already have this guy broken. He was pretty tough to break. What I did is that, you know, we're on the left side, the driver's side. You know, he ratchets that way to break it free. Again, counterclockwise. So, you know, I had an extension on this guy facing that direction, and I was just, you know, working it here until it broke. You know, broke it, spray some more WD-40 on it, keep on breaking it, and now I'm just back to this extension. You know, I'm sticking my wrench here, 19mm, and the socket. So I'm playing around with that, you know, getting that off. All right, there we go. Got the piece out. Again, you know, it's you know, it could be tedious. I don't know if there's a different way to get the bottom one out. You know, so it could be a tedious thing to do. So if you have a little bit of experience like doing these kinds of things, I suggest it. If not, you might want to pay a mechanic. It is doable, but it's tedious. So if you have any questions, you could, you know, just write. Installation is gonna be pretty simple. I'll, you know, take a few shots of that as well. So this is a real important one. This new part that I got doesn't have any markings on it as far as directions. The original piece did. So here's the way it works. The top has, I call it like a loop or a bend that goes away. If you can see that, you know. So let's call this the front. Up there will be the back. It goes away. The bottom is the opposite. You know. So that's the way that goes. If you flip it around, you'll see that the front, in this case, the front will be actually looping forward. You know. So again, the top, you know, goes back. Alright. Alright. Another one is, you know, how do you get this thing in there? If you remember, you know, the bottom screw goes, you know, goes away. So it goes in that direction. The top one goes under your brake line and it pops in through here. Let me try to get this done with one hand. Something I did, I added some anti-seize. Let me see if I can get some flashlight on this. Alright, the sun's out, I already can see, so I got some anti-seize on this. It's something I typically do, you know, at these locations. You could, I like to have it because I'm the guy that does I do my own service, so I make sure next time I have to get it off, I can get it off easily. If you torque it right, you know, this thing ain't coming off. If you're worried, you could put some of that, I forgot what the you call it, thread lock. You can put thread lock on it. And no anti-seize, and, you know, thread lock, and does what it says, it locks it in place. Alright, so again, I'm gonna try to get this in with one hand. I really can't see with the sun. I don't know if you can see it on camera. I'm sure you can. Alright, so bottom one goes in there. Let's do the top one first. I'm doing this with one hand. Alright, top one is in. Alright, the bottom one, I had to buy it by mistake. So, you know what I'm saying is the bottom one is not lining up, so I can use the crowbar and bring that down, or this piece does move. I'll probably grab the mallet, I'll tap it, just bring it up and slide it in there real smoothly, and then we're gonna, you know, so assemble this thing. And remember, we're torquing it to I'm torquing it to 65 pounds. You can go anywhere from 60 to 75, 78 pounds. Alright, so, you know, I'm just getting the nuts in here, you know, getting them ready to assemble this thing again. If you have power tools, you know, again, I don't have any you know, like an impact wrench or anything like that. They could be helpful. For the bottom one, if you have some kind of extension where you can get down here, that would be helpful. I don't have any of that stuff. So it's gonna be just torquing it, you know. And again, that's it. You know, we're pretty much finished at this point. It's just, well, you know, the video is pretty much finished. I'm just gonna torque these guys down to 65. That should be it. The bottom one, I'm gonna torque it the same way I got it in. You know, it's tough. And the reason I say it's tedious, you know, you're in a tight angle. When you're ratcheting this thing, you're pretty much touching everything, and you know, the socket comes off the nut a lot. So that's why it's tedious. You know, the thing comes off, then you got to go ahead and, you know, reset it, and it takes a while to reset because again, you're in an angle, so you have to, you know, use your crowbar to kind of like lift up your sway bar up a little bit. You know, get that socket in. Then in my case, I was putting that ratcheting extension on it, then the extension, then the socket, then, you know, probably spending a minute on it and the thing coming off again. So, you know, it is tedious. There might be different ways to do it. This is the way I did it. This is the way I understand it's done. So that's it. I guess, you know, if you can use a wrench to get this thing off, and some people can, probably you have like a good quality wrench that won't strip the nut, you could probably do it. And probably I was able to do it with a wrench, but, you know, I'm afraid of stripping nuts, so I just didn't do it. I got pretty good sockets, so I know those ain't gonna strip these bolts. Lesson on torque, you know, I'm gonna try to put this phone on my neck and kind of show you how to do this. This is my torque wrench. You can get one of these Harbor Freight, Walmart, Kmart, I guess, wherever. So let's see if I can get this done. So pretty much, you know, this is to loosen your adjuster up. Here's your lock washer. or lock nut. So yeah. Voila. Again, torque to 65 pounds. 65 a little bit more. Like when it clicks, actually just go a little bit further. Probably 2-3 pounds, whatever. I don't care. I'm a rebel. That's pretty much it. At some point I am going to be changing my struts myself. Again, never done this before, so it's going to be a fun one. Alright. So, that's pretty much it, If you guys have suggestions, please comment, because, I like doing mechanics, so I have fun doing this stuff, so, I'll probably be doing this again in a year, 2, 3, who knows. Probably on a different car. I will be doing it on my wife's car, so any comments will be suggested. Will be appreciated, not suggested. Thanks for watching.